Well. Finally, we are back. Um, yeah, let's get going. Check something very quickly if everything's working, and then we can continue. Oops. Okay, looking good. Putting this next to each other so I can see the chats. Is there a possibility to open this in chat mode? Maybe that would be a good idea. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, let's get going. I hope that I have fixed my audio for today because I am that pretty sure that last time the sound was kind of messed up. But I hope this time it will be much better. Maybe I can turn down the background music a little bit more. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so what we have been doing last time is actually we started using a to-do app, and I also already wrote down what I could do this time, which is finalize the playable first mission with modifications and level ups and smarter enemies and working director script and enemy AI improvements. These are the two things we would like to tackle next. With that said, let us have a look at what's the problem actually. So if we go into our level, which will be over here, and then level arena suburbs 1. So if we go over here, we will see we have these things. These define where the enemies are going to spawn. Let me quickly select some of them and maybe do something like this. Move those like here. Is this all? Oh. I mean, we could do it like this. Select all of them. Like here, and then here. And also these two. Present. Okay, now these are on the ground. Some of them are in the air, which is actually okay. We can also keep them in air. Maybe we can move these two up here. Somewhere in here. Oh, there are already 4 of them. Okay, so the problem is, for some reason, the enemies always spawn on the same spots. So we will take a look. All of them are in this place. So there seems to be something wrong. Which is actually, they're all spawning at the stage director position, if I see it correctly. So the first problem we are going to solve here is to check why the spawning is happening always at the same position. So the first thing is, let us okay. So the thing is, we haven't assigned anything here. So this is why I will let us first turn off these clouds so I can see better. I think we can also turn off the brushes. Yeah, we can keep them for now. Let us select the cloud ones, and now can I lock this? Oh no. Wait a sec. So what I have to do is actually I have to look for the stage director first, and now press this so it's locked, and then we can select those. Okay, so now that we selected those, I hope I can move it down here, which I can't, which is kind of ugly, to be honest. Ah, okay. Fetch spawning points. I wrote this function, which is looking good. That's great. So this means 14, yeah, okay, 14, 15, 16, 17, 22, 23, yeah. The rest is ground. Okay, perfect. So now we should be able to correctly spawn the enemies. Ooh. Ah, okay. So the thing is, now that we have seen, for instance, repeat always. So, yeah, okay. So we have these kamikaze bots. We don't need them in the air. Next one is what is this one? Stormbot, which is also not in the air, should be on the ground, which is nice. Already said that. Also, this one is in the air, but why? They shouldn't be. Should be on the ground. Kamikaze bot should be on the ground. This one is the kamikaze bot as well. Should also be on the ground. And the next one is the drone bot, which should be in the air. Perfect. Okay, so the first thing is we need to update the storm bots. So what can we do for the storm bots? What can we do for the storm bots is or what I want to do for the storm bots. Let us check what the storm bot is. Let's browse to the asset. Over here we have the storm bot. So what he is using is the very default enemy-based state tree. I think I used that back in the beginning just for testing purposes, to be honest. But for now, I will keep this. The thing is that I want to... Maybe we have to take a look at this one. So the base thing is follow target and then move to attack. And in attack, he will move to follow target. The thing is, when does it attack? When does it move to attack? It will move to attack on state completed. Condition is in range. So if he is in range, and the range is defined somewhere here. Evaluator there, player data is in range. What happens? Can I add another one? On state completed. On state completed. Basically, what I would also like to do, follow the actor. So the thing is, I want the character to move to a given range and then shoot. But how can I individualize those? I don't want to bring randomness in here because then it looks like it is not calculatable. The player cannot expect every time the same behavior, so he would have to think about some randomness inside, and I don't like that. The player should be able to calculate his next move, and he won't be able to if the enemy is behaving differently. So if there's some kind of randomness in the range, so I don't want this randomness in the range. You know what we can do is at another state, which is going to be think next move. Think next move, which can be, let's maybe do a delay, something like this. And we can promote this to a parameter. Thinking duration. And this thinking not run forever. Okay. So when this is done, on state completed, we can also do on state succeeded. And then we will move to Hmm. What will he do? When he thought about his next move, then there should be some kind of value. So based on the value, interesting. Okay, state tree. Hmm. No, we don't need this state tree. Transition to attack if condition full compare delay task. Interesting. Okay. So what we could do is to write another task and have some kind of thinking mechanism. State tree task. So we can do that. Maybe that's a good idea. Let's check where the state tree tasks are here. Let's check miscellaneous, I think, or artificial intelligence. Nope. State tree task. Maybe here. Okay, ask. And this one should be thinking. Thinking. We just do thinking. So, what we have over here is now a task. And the task is gonna accept. What it could do is add the thinking. We don't need this anymore. Delete. Thinking. Now this is nice. And over here we can on enter state. Delay. Let's do 1 second. Promote this to a variable. Thinking duration. And what it will do is we'll move it into input. It will think and then it will output something. Let's compile this and see what it looks like in here. Thinking next move, and then we have thinking duration parameter. So the thing is, I think a parameter is always connected to some. Yeah, we will move it out of the input. Default, I don't know, something like this. Yes, this time around, there will be nothing because we have to make this public, save it, and then over here we should be able to set the thinking duration, which is perfect. Now Nice. Nice, it's back. Okay. So basically we have this thinking, and I don't want it as an input because otherwise I won't be able to set it manually. So I will just move it out and put it back into default mode. Default. Save it, and then here we can manually add the thinking duration. So after the thinking duration, there should be some kind of output. I think what we can do, tag container results. Add a description. The tags that a list of tags. You know what? I can also do an array or something like that, or somewhat some kind of structure. So the structure would be. Let's check this. Thinking, and we can do. Can I do a structure here? Structure. No struct. No, not here. So let's try it a different way. Struct. There it is. Okay. So the structure would be set tree task, thinking, struct. Thinking. Setup. Config. Thinking. Response. Config. Like this. I think the name is nice. I'll do it like this. Maybe you put this on here. Okay. So this one is gonna have chance, which will be a float. Value range 0 and 1. And the second one, tag. Tag. Gameplay tag. So what we can have then is we can move this into task. Did I save that? Save it. Defaults 0. None. Good to go. Save. Okay. So I should be able to thinking response common. Okay. So now that we have this one, it should be of type array. Ooh, actually, We could also gameplay tag. We could also do it like this. And then we would have here some kind of float. In the map. For each. And then we're floats. If this one is bigger or equal this one, then finish. Branch. Do like so. So the output is gonna be response. And we don't need it as a map. We can do it as a single. Set this one and then okay, so otherwise it will continue running. So if none of them hit, finish task, not successful. So if none of them hit, it will be not successful. Okay, so now we have this thinking. We can add this map. I think, for instance, this can be state tree task. Detected player, okay. So what we can do is we can add another gameplay tag. Add subtag and we call this responses dot attack. Okay. Responses don't attack. 0.5 chance and another one 0.5 as well, which will be state tree responses. Do another subtree. Follow. Like so. So it's a 50% chance to do attack and another 50% chance to do follow. The other thing is if it's not succeeded, but in that case, we can actually do instead failed. Let's take a look at this. Yes, it's working. So if state is failed, So if the response matches attack, and then we'll go to attack. Okay, perfect. Exact match, invert, no. Okay. If on state failed, we'll go back into, we'll just do this again. So what we can do is to duplicate this one. One succeeded, transition to attack. Nope, transition to follow target. If the response was follow. Okay, so this would now hopefully correctly work. You know what? I will move it up here. So this means it will always think about the next move beforehand. You know what? Let's see what happens. When we start this, and then we spawns, and the game crashes. Send and close. Oh, let's pray. Let's pray that we saved everything. I don't know. For some reason, the game does crash sometimes. Suburbs. Let's open those. Looking good. Thinking. Transition to attack. Transition to follow target. Okay. Yes, and this one has attack and follow. Okay. Thinking, and then actually doing nothing. So they're doing exactly nothing. They're doing absolutely nothing. Let's take a look at what we have in here. You know what? We can also do is print string thinking. Okay. And now we can take a look at what is happening. We can check the logs. Failed thinking. Failed thinking. C3 response attack. Follow. Okay, we do get some responses. We do get some responses. We do get some responses, but to be honest, not what I like to see. So what we are going to do now is to turn off this stage director. Okay, dry run. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, now nothing should be spawned, but so we can manually spawn one of those. Put them at 0, 0. Let's see. Ah, okay. It will always end up in this failed state. So what we want is do nothing on failed. Actually, we do want to do something. The thing is, can do is if it equals none branch. If it equals none, then it is failed. Otherwise, it's not. So now the only thing that's weird is he's thinking. He gets the response, which is attack. As far as I can see, let's check the console log. Yeah, follow the fake thinking. Okay. So what should happen is he should actually move once it succeeded. What is follow target doing? Follow target is follow actor and then on stage completed. Transition to attack. If the player is in range, otherwise go back to. Actually, we can go to the root, yes. And next one is on state completed. Go back to root. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, he's turning around. He did turn around, but he's not walking. But he does shoot. He's just not walking. He's just not walking. But he should. What we can do is we can add another debug text task and set this to actor and then thinking. copy. Paste. Follow. Next one is this one. Debug text and then paste and tag. Okay, let's see what happens. Can I debug this? Hmm. This is not helping at all. So he's coming to the thinking. Then he does some thinking. We can turn this into 5 seconds. So now it should every 5 seconds. What is the red thing over there? He's not walking at all. I mean, what happens if we move this up here? I think it has something to do with this one. So what if we just keep it like this? And then check what happens. He's thinking. So he should now follow, but he doesn't. I think it has something to do with this thing here. Target actor evaluator. Hmm. Transition to think next move. I think this one is a problem. Maybe we can set it back to roots without any condition. Let's see what happens. Maybe turn this back up. Thinking duration is 1 second. Is 1 second. Can I turn it down again? Okay. Let's maybe do it like this. Get key value by index. So the first one, and that's it. Let's see what happens. So he doesn't walk. He just doesn't walk. which is something I don't understand. So for walking, he usually needs owning actor context. Yeah, that's already range, which is fine. Update on tick, update on enter. So maybe if I turn this one on, no, it does nothing. So let us take a look at the follow actor script. Owning actor, target actor, data targets. The evaluator is running. So I think the problem is this one. So the thing is, this is never actually run. This is actually just never run. What we need to do maybe okay, maybe this global thing is never run. Maybe we have to, can I move it in here? I don't have parameters code. So target actor. So what I need is maybe the owning actor. The owning actor, not target actor. Hutch and Butch character base, and there we can select this one. Okay. So maybe when I try to access this, but it doesn't. The thing is, follow is doing absolutely nothing. And I have an idea which could be because of this. Can I disable that? False true. Okay, let's see. He's always at thinking. He is always at thinking. He will move to attack, but he's always at thinking. So let's put this into 1 and see what happens. Attack, attack. Mm-hmm. 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 Let's put this into 0 and this one to 1. This means he should always be into... But it doesn't. Okay. I don't know, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't work at all. Compile, save. It should, he should never be into attack. But he goes into attack. And the reason for that is that over here we have a response attack. Let's see what happens if we have this one up there. So condition is if the response matches exactly, response follow. Exact match, follow. Thinking, response. Okay. And this one's attack. Matches exactly. State 3 responses attack. I mean, it shouldn't make any difference whether left or right. Check what happens now. I don't know why he is ever moving into attack. He shouldn't. He shouldn't. He shouldn't move into attack, but he does. But why is he moving into attack? So we come here from the root. Then we go into thinking the next move. Thinking the next move is a task which has some kind of possible results. I can rename that into possible results. No. Response. This is fine. This is possible results. Okay. So, oh no, that's fine. Possible results. And this is a state 3 response attack and state 3 responses follow. The chance for attack is 0. Chance for follow is 1. Actually, what we can do here is thinking duration. Over here we can I set up the value part? No. Okay, doesn't matter. These are the possible responses. And this is the outcome, the response that will be out. Okay, this is working so far. So he will be thinking for a duration, and then he will move to one of these. So if the state succeeded, and the condition is state 3 responses follow, the result, the response, then we will move to follow. The same is true for attack. And if the state failed, but currently we don't have any failed states. So he will always go to follow target. The thing is, why can't I see this anymore? In the previous version of Unreal, I could actually see the current state he's in. Maybe I have to select. There's the Stormbot. Where's the guy? No, I can't. Let's move it back here. What happened to the compiler, the debugger, tools, debug, visual logger, widget reflector, view model debugger, stylus input, pics. State tree. Where's the state tree debugger? Nope. That's the visual logger, okay. Let's take a look. Debugger. There is also one already. Okay, so he's thinking, he's coming to thinking, and then I would like to move to follow target. But follow target is doing nothing. The reason is maybe this condition. Evaluate the players and chart. Can I disable that? Is in range is false. Was false. Not working. Let's restart and see. He's actually not going into that state. That's what I'm wondering. He's never going into that state. If is in range. Yeah, it should be fine. And then we should go into follow target. And inside here, I also added it. It's just not working. So when I move this one up here, then all of a sudden it should be working. Yeah, now he walks. What the hell is this? I cannot even select it. Okay. So this one works. It doesn't work once I move it down here. We disable this one, we just keep this one. So if state succeeded, we can also maybe disable this one. False true, okay. So if it should, he should always go into that mode. Should always go into that state. But he doesn't. I don't know why he hates me. He just doesn't do that. On state succeeded, go to follow target. You know what? We do on state completed here now. No, he should really always go into. Oh, he's still going into attack. Okay, okay. Thinking duration. He doesn't like this one. He just doesn't like this one. I mean, we can kick this one out again. We kick all of them out. At least he should be. He should be logging something, huh? No, he does. Follow. But yet he doesn't follow. Okay. But this time around, we can actually go in here and set a breakpoint. At breakpoint. Okay, now we can check target actor. Let's move one forward. Target actor is none. So he will move on. Okay, target actor is valid. Ah, okay. So the thing is, I think I misunderstood something about this whole thing. Disable this or close it completely. Yeah, it won't restart. Okay, I understand. So on state completed, go to attack. Yeah, that's a problem. Go to root? No. Go to follow target. So you should continue following. Okay, perfect. And now we can just turn this back on. And this should work. It does. So this means that if we turn this back on, evaluate, transition enabled, transition enabled, okay. So if we turn this back on, follow target, we can also evaluate. Okay. Then We can go in here and say no. We don't want any defaults. We go on complete. If this is not set, then failed thinking. And you should finish the task. And not succeeded. And this one should be like so. Okay, now, exactly. Show you back to thinking. He's thinking way too long. No, he's thinking about 1 second. Okay, now this one looks better. We can remove this guy and we can turn the stage director back on. And turn the stage director back on. Turn off the dry run. And then let's see what happens. Okay, we can also add some chances, to be honest. So thinking about the next move is gonna be 0.5, and this one's gonna be 0.5. So if he's going to follow target, he's gonna finish that, and once is in range, then move to attack. Okay, we can keep this. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, nice. Okay. So what we need to do is to improve the script. Now, after 2 seconds, we have 2 members here. Spawn 3 of those. This one is fine. But I think they are always gonna spawn at the same location, right? Yes, they do. We can take a look. What's programmed? Oh. Stage director. Okay, what have I written back then? Close other tabs. Go to this thing. Handle activation event. Handle spawn event. So for each spawn event, world, where is the location? Allowed spawn locations on ground. Okay, allowed spawn points. Okay, okay. Yeah, it will be all spawned at the same location. I mean, what I could do is... Yeah, what? We can keep this. We can keep this for now. We might change that later. But what I actually want to do is, after 3 seconds, I want to spawn actually one of them. and maybe just duplicate this and paste that and spawn another one of them. Should repeat. What does it mean? Should repeat? No, it shouldn't repeat. Should not repeat. Okay, so next one is gonna be at 10 seconds. There should be some... You know what? We will delete this. After 12 seconds, there will be kamikaze bots. 3 of them. One of them, chance per spawn is 1, should repeat. Number of repeats 3 times. Repeat delay 1 second. Okay. This one should be nice. Allowed spawn locations. What's on the ground? And what we will do is we'll just copy this and paste this. And do the very same again. And the next one is gonna be, we'll delete this, at 25 seconds. What we want to do is spawn drone bots. Should repeat. Number of repeats. No, actually should not repeat, just 2 of them. Copy this, paste it in here, and then we should be able to spawn 2 of them. Okay. Let's see what happens. He's thinking. Oh, okay. How to close. Okay, it does work. So the only thing are these weird bird creatures. Bird drones. The drones. The only thing that's weird are these drones. And to be honest, these drones could be updated as well. So let us go and find the drone bot state tree. But first I will check if that's actually okay what I'm doing. Is it Unreal Engine state trees? Is it okay practice to we enter the same state on conditions to get some kind of on tick enter state will be on tick. So what I'm doing there is actually I am re-entering the same state. So what I'm doing there is I am entering the same state again to get some kind of on tick event. So it will be, we can take a look. follow target, follow actor. It will be recalled every frame because this in one frame it will be finished. The task is finished, and then if we go in here, can I open the asset? Oh no, I have to do it like this. So if we go in here, and this is completed, and there is no condition, if is true, the range is in range is true, it will move to attack. If it is not, then it will just retrigger himself, and this will cause some kind of on tick. You will end up here again, and then do the whole thing again, and so on and so forth. So this is what I asked, if that's good practice, because I think it's not, to be honest. The short answer is no, it is not considered good practice to repeatedly re-enter the same state to simulate on tick event. While you technically can force self-transitions, doing so goes against the intended architecture of Unreal Engine's state tree system and can introduce several significant issues. Yes, and this is probably why I encounter so many problems with this. Because it's not intended to be used like this. Here's a breakdown of why this approach should be avoided. I can just move it over here so you can read it as well. Here's a breakdown of why this approach should be avoided, followed by the correct way to handle per frame logic. Why self-transitioning for ticks is a bad idea. Heavy performance overhead. State transitions are not free. Every time a state is entered, the engine has to evaluate transitions, conditions, tear down the previous states, tasks, reinitialize the new states, tasks. Okay, it's not free. Conceptual misuse. State trees are designed to manage continuous modes of behavior over time, patrolling, attacking, fleeing. A tick is a continuous update during that mode, not a change in the mode itself. Debugging nightmares. Yeah, that's true. Visual logger and state tree debugger will endlessly be spammed. It will become nearly impossible. That's why the logger didn't help me at all. Maybe that's the reason. The correct approach: use state tree. Using state tree tasks. If you need your logic to be executed, create a custom task, create a tree task, either in Blueprint or C++. Utilize the tick function instead of putting your logic in enter state. Yeah, okay. So before we touch the bird, the drone, we'll try this one. So we can actually keep this, enter state. What I need is this. Add movement input. Okay. So what we can do is we can kick this one out. We can just. We don't need any finished task here because we don't finish the task. On tick, we will be doing exactly this. What we can do is we can check if these are all right. If they're actually not, I want to finish the task and fail. If any of those is not valid, then finish the task and fail. Otherwise, continue. Otherwise, continue. And also don't finish the task here. So what this needs is some kind of input for the range. Range. Which should be some kind of float. And this will be moved to output. It should be input, not output. And also not input, actually, because I need to set it. 500 could be the range. If the range distance if the distance is smaller or equal this one, branch collapse function range reached. This poor. What we can do is we can also add a delay. Follow duration. So if follow duration does that, then it will be over as well. So if the range is reached, if not, we will say no. But now we have two kinds of issues. So if it cannot do anything, then finish task and it will be failed. After a while, it will be finished, or when the range is reached during update. So let's save this. Let's go back into this one and then see. So on state failed, we will go back to think next move. If the state is failed, then go to think next move. Or we can keep it on completed. If this is not happening, then just go to next move. Thinking about the next move, we can also do this, go back to root. Should be fine. So if state is succeeded, transition to attack, but only if it's in range. We actually don't need that. We can just remove this and keep it like this. So now we have follow range, and this is a float. We can input this one. And the other thing was the follow duration. Unfortunately, when I put it in there, I have to use the parameter. Okay, so let us quickly ask Gemini again. If I know where I put Gemini, I think I closed it. Gemini, let's come back. Come back, please. Didn't I have a chat with him? I did, but what happened to my chat? Oh, there. Okay, let's talk with him. Okay, so what do I want to know? What I would like to know, is okay. If I declare a parameter as input in state tree, does have to assign a variable, but cannot set it as a float literal. It's a very common point of confusion when first working with unrelated state tree system. The reason I've been forced to assign a bind it rather than type of float literal is due to how Unreal categorizes data inside state tree nodes. In the state tree architecture, inputs and parameters are treated as two fundamentally different things, why you cannot use literal. When you place a variable into an input category, you are strictly telling the state tree this value must be provided dynamically at runtime by another node. Because of this, the editor UI replaces the standard text box with a data binding. Okay. Okay, I get it. There's no parameter, but I can just use default. Use default here as well. Just one more question. Is there ever a reason to use input at all? Because default also allows binding. Okay. Let's save that, compile it. Let's go back in here and then take a look what happened. Okay, attack range is like this, and follow duration would be like, you can do 2 seconds. Okay, so now it did work. I like this. This is much better now. So what was the response? Same question. If you can bind that to the parameter, it absolutely begs the question of why the input variable even exists. It's design philosophy and strict data contracts. While both allowing binding, they serve two fundamentally different conceptual purposes. in your architecture. Here's why you should absolutely still use input. Required was optional. Okay, okay. So when I okay, so this means let me check. We have a new variable. We will move it into here and save this now. What happens if I just simply don't set it? Can I compile this? No. Okay, this makes sense. I have to set this. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I will just delete this one again. We will save this and we are good to go. Okay. So for now, I think we have fixed this. We'll add another to do. Um, improve drone AI. Check other tasks for valid implementation. Use to what we said. Okay. That's it. I think that's our session for today. We will close the stream.